So we stayed an extra day in Tulsa after race week. We're headed home now, but the challenges continue. Lost a tire on the big trailer, so we gotta stop and swap out a tire. Jamie got the race week tools out, ones we had with us on the trip, so get a socket out here and get after swapping out this tire. I jammed a bunch of videos together and I'm gonna put them up on YouTube. There's really not an edit or anything to them. If you have any questions about it, just leave them down below and I'll fill in the details, or I'll make another video explaining some of them if we need to. But we're about halfway home and should be there tonight. Well, we made it to Tulsa, starting the unloading process. Got Alice and the trailer off, and now we're getting Aiden 63 off the top deck there. Behind his tires to get his mufflers up. Not yet. When the mufflers get close to hitting the beaver tail. Okay. Now, yep.
you guys anticipating our calls. We had Anthony Reed will that way out of Grove Street, 921 to 944. Kurt Gasser is showing rear. Spare parts C10. Rear out of 4-Eye Performance Tuning, one of our longtime sponsors out here, and again, a big supporter of the rookie and young gun deal that I put together. And again, if you would like to contribute to that, run down by the stroller bus and look at some cash. Really, I start giving my own dollar. And for this one, it's 500. Oh, Joey Rear lost a little roller going on out there.
So I made it through day one. I didn't really have any time to get the alcohol switched over, but I do have it on the gasoline. I limped it down the track, got a time slip, so I'm officially still in competition. The alternator wasn't working. These other cars that are with us run the same stuff, or so I thought. So I stole the alternator off of my daughter's car. That fixed my car, but my alternator didn't fit back on hers, which turned out it was bad anyway. So we went to O'Reilly's, got a new alternator. Everybody's back together. Aiden made his first pass down the track. I limped it down the track, went like 1380, so nothing impressive. I think Jamie did something in the 13s as well. We had a little issue with hers and had to swap a tune in real fast. But to get the parts done, we had some loyal fans that came out to the track with us, and George was able to take us over to O'Reilly's and get us an alternator and a radiator hose, and gave us a ride back with the parts. A little help from Dad. Both of them really helped out and saved the day. So what do you got to say to people?
Like and subscribe and comment down below.
Yeah. Follow on the YouTube at Cut and Grind Garage. There's our YouTube link. Like, follow, and subscribe.
Yep.
Thanks for your help today, George.
Yep, you're welcome.
Awesome. Here we are at the gas station. Everybody's here for E85. What? You're not pulling a trailer. But you're heavy, so if you want to. Okay, you got those bolts out. See if you can get that caliper off.
Can you hold
Hey,
this up?
hold the wheel up there a little bit, Aiden. I think you can get the caliper off now.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, set that off to the side. Now can you get in? Oh, there you go. Here, hold that up. Let's see what we got. Looks like the bolts let go or the bracket tear. I
The
don't know.
bracket folded in half.
It wadded it up pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you were able to back up. That's pretty good. Okay, well,
I was so glad for that. I was like, oh God, we don't want to be stuck right
I don't
here.
think the
That
calipers.
seems fine. I just need a new bracket.
Well, I think Quick is at the event, so we
Yeah,
can
they
take it over there and we can see what.
So, but it was the housing broke, isn't it?
Yeah, the housing bracket came loose.
That bolt's never coming out.
Well, we don't need that out. We'll just see what we can do here.
It's been doing fine the rest of the way.
Yeah, it may be the first major break, but how long have you driven it? I mean, you've driven it, this is your third event with it,
Yeah.
plus all the cruising and stuff you've done, so this is like 5,000 miles probably plus.
Yeah.
So,
Without changing rear end or
oh, I don't think, I mean, the brake pads aren't
the
hurt
brake
up.
pads.
I don't
yeah.
even think the calipers hurt. It's probably okay.
Yeah, it seems fine.
It
Other
ripped
than
the line
my-
apart,
Yeah, my
but
line is.
because it went for a ride around the axle,
yeah,
probably.
it went around the axle 10 times. before
Probably.
I even knew it was doing anything. Not quite.
Not quite.
Nylocks trick you. They think you're done and then you're not.
Just kidding. Okay, so see the piece we need, this holds the axle in, this step right here on this side. That goes against and holds the axle so it doesn't walk out. So we'll have to go over here where it's kind of straight and cut that off with the death wheel. And then we can put this half back on if we hammer it flat, and that'll hold the axle in. And we can probably use that one as a third one on the bottom on the other side, and I think you can get up the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
With no rear brakes.
well, you won't have any rear brakes.
At least my axle won't fall out when I turn.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll take the other one off and loop it to the center and just dead loop it so there's no fluid going back there. And then you can drive, you'll just have front brakes only. So
Yeah, burnouts everywhere.
burnouts everywhere. Line lock only.
Line lock only.
There you go. So we used the grinder with the cutting wheel to cut this bracket in half. Now at least we got half of an axle retainer. We just need a hammer. Got a rubber mallet, but I think we got a ball peen hammer somewhere. So we'll beat on that and flatten it out a little bit.
I gotta have that in the kit there.
You getting it back together?
Yeah.
So
I gotta weigh in brake fluid to get
Yeah.
the other one, but
So we got half of an axle retainer bracket, and we had to make T-bolts out of our regular bolts by grinding the head flat. But at least you got half an axle retainer, and I think
yeah.
we're gonna put the other one on the bottom corner there.
Okay.
I think you'll at least have part of it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the brake line off of the T, and then we'll take the brake line off the caliper. We'll bring it around and loop it back so that the back is just deadheaded. Then this line here, I mean, that's a pretty tough zip tie. It held up, and it kinked that brake line, but the zip tie held
I
up.
went probably 500 feet up the road and with it
Well, it
clinking.
only swung around twice before the line let go, but I mean, it ripped that Teflon line, but the zip tie held up. So that's a pretty tough little zip tie. Torquing the wheels back on. We had to improvise with that bracket, but we pounded it flat and made some T-bolts and got it on there. And then the other side was still okay, but didn't have a cap for the T to hold the brake fluid, so we had to take the line off of there and just loop it up and put it back on the other side of the T to make a dead loop. So won't have back brakes, but at least you should have a good pedal.
Check that side.
This is one of the checkpoints on the route. It was called Woody's Bar and Grill. They were still serving, so we stopped and took a few pictures. Then we had dinner there before we headed on down the road. So here we are, day one, drive day. We're about an hour from the hotel still, and it's midnight. And I just put 9.7 gallons in what I believe is a 10-gallon tank on my car here. So stretched it out about as far as I could go. I'm getting about 11 miles a gallon, so I missed out on, I don't know, 4 or 5 gallons, or 4 or 5 miles out of that tank. So good timing, glad we stopped. Back on the road, should be getting to the hotel in about an hour. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there, but we're still out here day one, bombing down the road. So we opened the hood this morning to check the valves after the drive because they sound a little noisy. I found a little hitchhiker here, little Mr. Number 10. He went for a ride. How far did we go? 300 miles last night, I think, something like that. 300 miles on the top of the radiator, but he made it safe and sound. All right, see you later. Well, Jamie's day ended with this here. We got another broken cam gear. Our fix didn't fail and it's still bolted on, but the ring gear split up and left the chat. But got a couple of guys from Missouri gonna haul it on back over to Wichita for us so we can leave it with Keith Lopez. He helps us with the engines and stuff, and we'll drop it off at his place, and that's actually on our route back home. Once we get back to our truck and trailer, we'll be able to stop by and pick it up on the way home to get the rest of the way back to Colorado. So this being another slow pass, it didn't have the alcohol tune up in it. We just left the body panels off so that we could drive it down the track and basically just switch it back over right away and head on down the road. Once again, nothing special. It was 14 something. We're going to meet up with a tuner in Wichita and so here we are at Fox Rod Racing. This is Keith Lopez's shop. We got the cars in his front yard, hiding from the rain, and then we went over to the checkpoint for the route, which was Mel Hambleton Ford, and then this is the gas station on our way down to Thunder Valley, and then here we are set up in the pits at Thunder Valley. So we just left the concession stand, and I got double cheeseburger, no bun, and Jamie's got 220-pound bag of ice. She's such a good helper. Let me eat my cheeseburger while she's carrying the ice. I want to make a big thanks to Quick Performance. That was their brake caliper brackets that were on there. I don't think their caliper brackets failed, but they had the pieces on site at the track to help us, and we're willing to get us all the pieces we need to get it back together, and got Laney back on the road so that she can continue to stay in the event. So great big thanks to Quick Performance and their customer service and taking good care of their racers. Thanks again. So we are in Wichita, Kansas. We made it through day one at Tulsa and day two at Flying H, and we are about 500 miles into this trip. My car's together and running well. Haven't really pressed it on the drag strip yet. Still working out the performance side of this setup since it wasn't even running when we had it at Tulsa. First start for this combo was in Tulsa, day one. Ended up couldn't bring my trailer, so I'm pulling the teardrop that usually gets pulled by Alice. Alice didn't survive flying H. I'll let Jamie tell you guys about that, and we'll do a recap with it later today. Both the little Falcons are running good. Laney had a couple issues with hers, but she got it repaired. Austin's Rambler is doing well. He's in second place in his class, I think, right now. So as long as he can keep going there, he should be doing well in his class. So got one stop at a Ford dealer today, and then we're on down to Thunder Valley in Noble, Oklahoma is where we race tomorrow. So I'll try and do better on updates, but I've seriously been working non-stop with not much more than 3 hours sleep every night since before we left the house. But we'll keep you updated, try and do better. So this is Alex doing a burnout. He asked permission from the cop, and the cop gave him permission and was recording him, and he had a great time. He thought that was the best thing ever. So this was another YouTube channel that caught up to us on the road, Boost for Therapy, and they shot these videos of us rolling down the highway. They met up with us at the track at Thunder Valley and forwarded these videos over to us. So post them on here, and it's pretty cool shots that they got when we were rolling down the highway. Thanks again. So this was another checkpoint. It became the final resting place for my Falcon, as that's where the transmission gave up, and we had to go get U-Haul trucks to haul it home. Everybody else was on a different path and not coming back this way, so we actually rented a truck to pull the small trailer, and then another truck and trailer to tow my car so that we could head back to Tulsa and not have to make another trip back and forth again. So this is Austin coming back from doing his check-in for the trip so that he completed Rocky Mountain Raceweek, Megaweek. When my transmission gave up on the side of the road, we basically turned this group loose and sent them on down to Texas. So Austin and Brooke took the Rambler, Laney drove her car, and Aiden drove his little Falcon as well. But the three of them went on down to Texas Motorplex, completed their runs there, and then drove back to Tulsa. Basically just the three of them hanging together. So Austin was in the 10-0 class. I think he was around 5th. And Laney was in the 11-0 class, also somewhere in that 5 to 7 range. Yeah, she was in the 11-0 index class. And then Aiden was in the small block natural gas range, small block in A with his car. I think he also finished in the 5th, 5 to 7 range. I'm not sure exactly where they finished, but all of them somewhere in the top 10. So that was a good week for them.
Yes. Michelle Roby.
So this is the announcing of the
he loaded up.
cars that are in the Quick 32.
I think he's on his way back to
ended up about the middle of the pack for that.
Austin Mackey. Yes. Jesse Haslett. Yes. TJ Moses. Tom and Sean.
Then they all drew chips so that they could do random pairings. And now they're calling them up there by their pairs to drop their chips in the bucket.
Oh, Jared.
And basically get their placings, figure out lane assignments for the Quick 32.
Sevens.
Here the kids are just warming up their cars, headed up to go take their one-time run. So they get one test run before the bracket race. Austin ends up in the Quick 32, then Laney and Aiden will be in the bracket race.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Little lovebirds with their little birds. Here, Laney and Aiden actually ended up paired up for their first run. It's just a time run, so they're not actually racing. They got to make it fast down the track side by side.
So they did their burnouts together and their first warm-up pass of the final day together.
Okay, so what do you got going on here?
I'm missing 2 header bolts.
Oh, so you got an exhaust leak, kind of?
Yeah. Like,
But it's hot.
Like a what?
But it's hot, so you're suiting up to go into the hot turbo area.
Putting my sleeves on.
Got a couple
I can't
header bolts.
feel anything with these big old gloves on. Is it just the back too?
All the way down there. The back cylinder is missing both header bolts,
I
so
don't know that
picked up an exhaust leak there.
actually get in there.
Roadweeker number 111, a black Trans Am. You are parked in a racer's pit. Those guys have all the seats. And,
That's true, but this one wasn't tight, very tight at all.
Oh, he lost a U-bolt?
I think it crushed the U-joint.
taking on that gentleman.
Can you give me a ratcheting wrench?
I doubt it'll fit. The butt end of the ratchet wrenches are too big.
Against it, yeah.
You really have to use, I mean, you can use a box end on those Chinese ones, but you won't fit it.
I got a friend here that's
Yeah, your
helping.
mechanic assistant right there.
Yeah, she does.
It's coming to help you.
Lunch.
In the left lane.
Dude, come on. Getting a little close.
The old pickup truck here. We drove with him for a little while.
Do you lose the cap off it, or what's going on?
He thinks
Oh, it's crushed the joint.
Oh.
The 32 Chevy pickup.
Look, I went through the traps. I could fucking barely see the track. It was shaking.
it's shaking so
Well,
bad.
I'm glad that you're paying attention and know there was something wrong.
Yeah.
Not just like, eh.
Taking on the Silverado in the right lane. That's Mike Gonzalez. Oh, no, that's not. I'm sorry. I pressed in the wrong
It's like
button.
way too clean under here, Ron. I don't know.
Jake
What?
Robertson, the 2004 Silverado.
Because I haven't been leaking oil from last week.
You haven't.
Goes 1070. And Robertson.
Working on a Chevy.
Yeah. Shit.
That's my wife. That's my car. The stick shift CTSV first gen in the left lane. She's taking on Sarah Moore in the right lane.
Okay, I'll rotate.
Okay.
Go ahead and put it neutral down. I'll rotate it. Please.
Put on by Chad with bag shift and Cody Hansen. We have 10% of our
Perfect.
racers,
Okay, park.
550 racers, 10%, over 10% were females.
He's in there jamming gears.
Oh, it's a ratchet shifter. You have to go back and forth. Oh, here's your friend. He's over here now.
With the dudes. Sarah Thorpe, the Pro Charge GTO.
Holy shit, Ron. Look at this.
Look for
Yeah, that thing is used up, huh?
This.
with the white truck.
Okay, can we turn it?
Any of that?
What'd you find?
This U-joint is like blown out big time.
Yeah, the bearing cup on that U-joint was used up. You noticed the vibration at the top end at 130 mile an hour. Oh yeah,
That's enough.
all the needles on that side are pretty well used up too.
So we'll be down
I
when
know,
we
I've
go
never seen
scoop.
anything like, it's like it just
Oh, looks
melted.
like he is actually off the racetrack.
It must have been like hot.
He's up there on the top end, but we'll check out that racetrack before we're sending our next pair down.
So this is the first pass competition we did. Talked about Raceweek, but it wasn't really racing. It was more like a time trial on me. So this is his actual first practice race. So he gets to put his dial in on and then does two. It's actually his second pass using the transbrake on the back of the home track. So his dial in 1105. The other truck, I think his dial in 13 something. So it's a handicap race. He actually has to sit and wait at the start there for the other truck to leave until it's his turn. And out of the car yet. I think Gary actually ran 11:59 to get paid the actual time. The car did, so that put him out in front even though he was off his dial. So So first round went for Laney, her first round of after we fixed the exhaust leak, here she was dialed up to 35, I think, racing the slower car as well. I believe they're dialed in for 13 seconds. So once again, she has to sit and wait. But because she does not have a transfer, she has to stand on the foot brake, just hold it up and start to push. So she has to back off so she can get a clean launch. She ended up running 11.75. This was the reaction time to pull up around that car. So that puts her in round. Now this is Austin coming up in round 12. Quick 32 heads up, so there's no dial-in, no clocks. This is heads up racing where it's fastest car or first finish line wins. So with Austin's track racing experience, he was getting really good lights throughout the whole afternoon of racing. Great advantage to him. This is the first round of 32. You can see a little wheelie there he did. I think that was actually the track. He won that first round. And this is Laney coming back for the second round of the bracket race. But her car was getting hot. She does not have electric fan. Hers is still all mechanical, water pump and mechanical fan. It's something they're going to change. We wanted to change it before this one, but with Aiden's build and my late start on my build put us behind, so she stuck with hers, and her setup the way it was. Here her car was hot, and racing a slower car, she didn't have a chance of pushing through the red. She was idle, but I think she slowed to 12 8 or something. She did not have a good experience on that around this one, so that put her up. So we have second round here. Once again, I think he was racing his own car. May not have got quite enough for him this time. Corey's getting more aggressive with his transfer. This one here, he's like going to let or not have much traction. He does spin the tires out there quite a ways, so by the time he pedaled it, got it up, he was too far behind to make it on that run. So that ended his day in round 2 as well. But for the most part, it was a good day. He does a wheelie too, where he pulls the tires up. Now this was the car that Jamie was helping drive shaft back here. He made it back to this round, but he ran too fast and broke out. So he didn't slow down a little bit. I think he ran a 38 on his 11:45. But Jamie's help, he got it back in competition. Now this is Austin. Second round here of the heads up shootout. Once again, no time clocks. We don't know what he's running. He's just racing. The first car to the finish line wins. So he's racing that white truck. He's in the hot rod class. Well, right here he's leaking some water. Everybody's concerned about it, but he had to drive through rainstorms all week, and I'm pretty sure it's just rainwater coming out of the frame rail. It wasn't getting into the tire, but there's still a major concern that much water coming out of the car.
It's coming out of the slave, I think, from driving in the rain.
It was just leaking out of the brake.
Not a pressure leak.
Anyway, back to this white truck. He was running 990s all week, and he really doesn't do much racing, so he didn't have confidence in setting a good light. He's a bracket racer and always comes in late, so he was out on him and got around the truck. Shoot. Second time pulled the shoot. Photographer was up at the top, supposedly getting the shot there. This is third round heads up and racing Monte Carlo. Once again, no time, just first to the finish line wins. So These guys actually stopped by and talked to us. They built 4R70W transmissions all the time. Haven't been some pretty fast cars, so we'll be talking with them later to see what we can do to help 9 survive. Austin has the same transmission as well in his lift, so I may just need a copy of Austin. Get a good clean start for Austin. This race was a little closer to the finish line, but Austin still got around him. That was third round. Quick 32, so it takes 5 rounds to win. Now they're down to 4 cars. Here Austin does his burnout for round 4. This guy's in the Tesla S Plaid. He doesn't need a burnout. He goes up there and double bolts everybody. Everybody's getting 6 minutes. But typically, kind of courtesy stage, one takes the stage full with 3 stages of the stage, and this guy would just go around the water box and drive right up there. I think Austin got out on him again. Man, those electric cars, they move pretty good. And Austin said it was really close at the top end.
Never would have thought that. That's all
Tesla
right.
came around
Tesla got
just
him.
barely at the end. So that ended Austin's day. Heads up, but he made it down to the final 4. It was good for him. This is just my car cruising down the highway a little bit. Some of the road noise, the bridge that we went across, it's pretty cool. Here we are at Thunder Valley when my car was still running. This was the last track that I made a pass at, so this video is a little out of order.
Live.
But
You don't want to do some of your
wanna
antics?
go back
Taking
and
it live right now?
Hear the kids, Austin screaming all over.
Kids in their
Standing in the stage
antics.
lanes, I'm not sure
Live
what
to
the
the
delay
public.
is, but
What are you doing?
Jamie was on the live on Facebook.
Hi, welcome to my
It's
This is what I get. This is what I get all
Annoying
week.
everybody.
podcast. Welcome everyone. So here we have a Falcon.
Another
It
Falcon.
does Falcon things. It's okay, I guess, but Ramblers are cooler. But it's alright. Where are you going? You're so far away. How am I supposed to? How are the people gonna hear me if you're far away?
Oh my gosh.
As you can see, the cars are about to go. They're doing things, but they can't go yet because the track's wet. It's been wet all day.
Yeah.
But they're about to go. Maybe.
Good commentary.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. My podcast.
It's your podcast.
Welcome to the first podcast ever, Rambler Talk.
Rambler Talk. That's perfect.
Hello, internet.
Sure you tuned in.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
How many viewers we have?
Austin says it's Rambler Talk.
Oh, Rambler
Yeah.
Talk, not
We
TED
only
Talks.
talk about important matters here at Ramblers.
I don't see none of them up here, bro.
They're sleeping.
That was in
Oh,
the last video.
They're sleeping.
They're sleeping.
They're
right
taking a nap.
now. They made a really good solid pass and they went ba, 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 ba. So now they're sleeping. So as you can see, we're still not going. It's slow around here.
We need to
Not
give
as
Austin a
far.
I
microphone.
don't know that that's a good idea.
It's not a bad one. Anyways,
Preferably
cars
a
are still
fake
here
one that doesn't
waiting.
do anything. Or give him the little like mic. The
The
Hey,
fuzzy
your
mic.
ideas are really bad. Stop talking. I don't like them.
That's what I had to say about that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's alright.
Okay, now my video get taken down because Laney's flipping it off.
Yeah, that's not very nice. You have to keep it PG on my Rambler Talk podcast.
Sorry. On today's episode of Rambler Talk.
So, is this your podcast or mine?
Shut up, bro.
Well, as you can see, they're now running.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you can't see it, but you can hear them. Maybe. Providing cartel.
Yeah, I got the subtitles on.
Dave Eggerling. Eggerling is a 70 Camaro. 822 on day one in Tulsa.
can't really even hear my car running with this noise and trying cold stove in the other lane. But I did spool it up a little bit here and launched it off the trans brake. But it's still running on gasoline because we didn't have time to get it run methanol with the delay at this track. I ran it hard through first, second, third, but once again lifted around half track and coasted through to a 1320. So nothing really impressive, but the car's running well, and if we get it on methanol, I think it's really going to come to life. So stay tuned and we'll keep working on it.
There's just something about an open trailer that hits different. That's what they all say, but this one here was just going to get us home. I'm just glad she fit on there, kinda. And this side don't look too bad. Swing over here, and track width on this one's a little bit wide for this trailer. The tire ain't even touching. So it'll get us back to Tulsa. Save 2 more trips back and forth. Jamie's got the little trailer behind that one. We couldn't even find a rental car in Durant, so the only way out of there was a U-Haul. But we're headed down the highway and back in Tulsa tonight. So to get our rigs home, we had to rent a U-Haul truck and trailer to get back from the middle of Oklahoma back up to Tulsa. We were halfway between tracks, and everybody else was already headed to Texas, and there was really nobody headed back that way. So worked out pretty good that we were able to get my car on that trailer, which I was surprised. That wagon really only has about 3.5 inches of clearance to the oil pan, but surprisingly, it went right on that U-Haul trailer. So very fortunate that it was that easy to load. On the way back in here with our car, we did notice that may have been a common theme. Oh, there's another little U-Haul trailer someone probably rescued somebody with, brought their ride back to the track. Then on the way around this corner, it looks like there's another one. So that's 3 of those lowrider U-Haul trailers on property. Seems to be what it takes to get your stuff home. Ron was first one back, looks like. So he's pitted here in the pits with his rig. So anyway, back to return our U-Haul.